Italy, France, Sweden, and Russia.
Great morning people. Brought to you by Wholesale. It's lactose-free and available in a variety of tasty flavors with only 10 grams of sugar. Most importantly, it's heart healthy, tummy friendly, cholesterol-free, and half the price of liquid soy per serving. By Wholesale today.
Thanks. Welcome back. Brief was a popular sentiment among stakeholders. This as high school level track and field, 5 of them were held across the island for juniors on Saturday. Jordan Ford has a roundup of 3 of those.
Can you hear me? This is Mavis.
Yes, Miss Mavis, go ahead, hearing you. James.
How are you? Just want to thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. And this is the start of a new year, and a year after COVID started. So here we are embarking upon a series of community outreach programs to help to advance our community forward, starting with our people. So this evening, it is my honor and it's great privilege to introduce to some and reintroduce to others Mrs. Kadeen Matthews-Smith. She lives in phase 4 and she's a financial advisor with Sagicor. I would like you all to give her a warm, warm welcome.
Welcome, Miss Smith.
Yes, hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I see, I'm great. So we have 9 early birds or 8 early birds. Person's on time then. Right, it's 7:32, so we should get started. I want to congratulate though the community outreach team for putting this on, and it's something that is really fitting during this time. It's really timely, you know, because persons need every encouragement and need to be able to be thinking about solution at this time more than anything else. So congratulations to the team. And who are the members of that team? Madam Piaro Mavis, I know Shauna Nesbeth. And
yes, the committee of management, the special person coordinating this, because you know it's a team effort, but usually yes, you have someone who is taking care of it. And so this time it is really befitting to say a special thank you to Shauna Nesbeth. Can I have a round of applause for her, please?
Yes. Or you can go into reactions and give her a thumbs up. And right. Good. So I'm going to do screen share for the presentation. And because we're in the same community, I would love for us to really make this a sharing session. So as I present, you can think of what you are doing that might be of help to others that have not yet in your way as yet, right? So we're looking at money management tips, leveraging COVID. And of course, COVID is real. Even I'm sure that there are some persons who are mourning right now. You know, the loss of loved ones, persons who have gone on because of COVID, and it's a shocker. All right, I'm gonna ask. Let me just mute everyone and right, right, mute so that it's a little quieter. Right. I'm not seeing my slideshow. All right, good. Right. So it can be really shocking when you lose a friend or a family member to COVID. I had a problem with my computer the other day and handed it to the repair shop. Of course, by the following week, the person I gave it to was gone, was dead because of COVID. He was quite fine when I gave him the computer, the laptop. He was quite okay. Yes, I saw him the next day in the shop saying, all right, don't come for it Monday because I'm just gonna take a day off because I'm not feeling so hot, he said. And then by the end of the week, I heard he was gone. You know, such a shocker. And we have persons mourning, even who are connected here. And so, you know, we have to send condolences and just be there for each other. And that is why I applaud this initiative and was willing to accept, because it is on the path of solution or what you can do while you're alive. Okay. So money management tips, leveraging COVID. All right, let me give me a minute. Let me just see where my icons are hiding. My screen share. I want to do not screen share. My slideshow. All right, slideshow. Good. Right. So we're gonna share some tips, but let's look a little bit at the psychology of things. You know, I got another email, a WhatsApp earlier about this businessman whose car was stuck in the mud, and there was a farmer with an horse or ox, and he had asked the gentleman to just help pull the car out of the mud, and he tied the ox to the car, and he had a name for it. I don't remember the name now. He had a name for the animal, and he was calling two other names. So it's like he would say, "Go, shepherd, go," and he called two other names like Betsy and Tommy. Keep going. The three of you keep going. Pull. And in no time, the car was out the mud. So the businessman asked, "Yes, you have one animal here. Where are the other two? And you keep mentioning the other two." And he said, you know, this animal here is blind. He doesn't know that he's alone in the effort of pulling the car. So over the years, for him to pull and do the other things that he has to do, I give him company. I have two other imaginary animals with him. So when he hears that he's not alone, that's when I call the other two names, the man said, I get the best from this animal. And the whole analogy that we're in this together, and when we know that we're not alone, it is a little bit, the burden is a little bit lighter when we know that we are sharing the same pains and challenges with everybody else, right? So in terms of this presentation, we're going to look at the psychology first of it, you know, making sense of things. Then we look at the money management tips, and of course, leveraging. Yes, why we can, and yes, we can. So, in terms of the psychology now, William James said, yes, the circumstances does not make the man, but reveals him, right? So I believe that this time has really revealed many of us in terms of what we are made of, in terms of our resilience and how tough we are. And the whole thing is to go with the mindset that, all these things that happen, we can't control it. Which one of these can we control? That COVID-19 came, can't control that. It happened. The virus is here and we have to be living with it, and it's the reality. Can we control the fact that there is a lockdown for in many parts of the world, and we've had lockdowns in Jamaica, and if you speak to some persons abroad, you realize that we have a big freedom over here because we are going to work. The shops are open just the same. In the UK, it's just pharmacy, supermarket. Most of the shops are closed. I know they're opening in March, sometime in March, with some of what we have in terms of stores being open when persons lining up outside and going in, with the distancing. But none of this we can control, right? Can we control the fact that we have to work from home and we have to deal with online school, the online learning at home? It is a challenge, but we've all had to just work with it, right? Massive job losses. When you look at, I think Falmouth is Trelawney, yes, is hard hit. I know St. James is too, but a lot of the housing development there have a lot of persons there who worked in the hotel sector. They can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay their bills. It's you have husband and wife working in the sector, and they don't have any job, and it's a serious situation, right? For those who have jobs, you might find that it's you alone working. Like in my case, my husband is not employed, is no longer employed because the hotel sector and that hotel closed, and though they have resumed, but in terms of support and the accounting role that he was actively in, they have severely downsized to about one person in that department. And so shrinking budget. So we're all facing it and we have to cope, right? I'm going to ask though at this time, if you can, for those who are on, I'm seeing we're about 15, 14 persons on. I mean, 15, but I make the 15th one. Can you send out the link to some persons who have not yet joined, and just a friend or a neighbor? Just pause a minute so that we can share together, and just send the link to someone who is not yet on. Like, for example, I don't see my neighbor, so I'm going to be sending it to her to ask her to join now so that we can do this together. And they need to hear any announcement at the end and so on, because they're going to be hearing from all of us. All right, just do that. Just pause and do that. Brown. Right, just invite a neighbor that you're not seeing on there. And I'll just put happening now. All right, good. All right, I've done mine. Have you done yours? All right, done. Andrea is on. Andrea, you could help to send out some messages to persons as well. All right, good. So once we have done our part in getting the others on, then we can continue. All right. Good. What can we control? This initiative here is an example of what we can control. The perspective, what we do, how we focus is what we can control. And so I'm happy for this. So the outbreak, yes, has shown us more about the resilience of our people around, right? And I can ask you to participate here on mute and tell me what coping phrases you have heard recently in terms of these phrases that have come up since the pandemic. What do you hear people saying as you go around? Anybody wants to say?
I have heard say life goes on, even with COVID.
Life goes on. It's so little selfish, but boy, life really goes on, and you have to cope. Anybody else?
Evening, everyone. What we hear more than anything else is that it's the new normal.
Aha! There's a prize, Miss Mavis. Auntie Mavis, who is that from Space What? Space. So the new normal. Right. So you're to get a prize. What's your name? Miss Mavis Dowdy. You're to identify and maybe give her a credit or something. All right. Anybody else? You've heard of this word being bandied about in terms of coping. So we're moving. Life goes on. And what do you hear people saying? Yeah, it's a new normal. Not new normal. Oh, let's just pivot. And this is how we will pivot. So in businesses, that's the term that you're hearing. They say we're going to be rationalizing staff complement. We're going to be pivoting with the work from home, and we're going to continue that and so on. So they call it the pivot to move on, right? So it's a real shift in operation. So you have individual pivots and business pivoting. I knew that word only in netball, right, Camille? Well, I played
Exactly
netball.
so, but it is it's being used a lot nowadays. I've been hearing it too.
Right. Couldn't pivot a lot in netball at all. Anyway, right. So Mara Thomas in the Harvard Business Review, March 2018. That's before COVID though. She said to be consistently productive and be able to manage our stress better, we must strengthen our skill in attention management in terms of our focus management. How do we, it's like fighting to focus because it's not easy. So we're on here agreeing that it's not easy going from day to day, but we must, in order to stay productive and to keep going, we must manage the stress in terms of what we choose to focus on. What will you choose? What will I choose to focus on? And this is what I have gone through myself. I've had to choose the positive things to focus on. And I have to, instead of being a go-getter, you know, people are always saying, oh, you have to be a go-getter and so on. I'm more now a go-giver, right? So yes, you heard the introduction from Sagicor and so on, but it's not about a Sagicor presentation. It's just a veranda talk today. We're talking to each other and we are helping each other to focus on the right things at this crucial time. All right, so what will we focus on? So we're going to be looking now. So that's the psychology of things. That's the part one. Focus on the right things. We have to manage what we can control. We can control not what happens to us, but how we react to it. So how we react to this COVID and what's happening around us and what happens to us is what will make us great and what will make us shine in this season, right? And the change in the concept from go-getter to go-giver is one that I'm doing. So that's why I was able to say, yes, to do in this meeting because we need to be sharing, you know, so I'd love to facilitate that sharing. Yes, so in terms of money management tips, we think about savings, we think about the budget. But based on what I've said before, the budget is crucial at this time, that we pencil out and we identify exactly what we're spending on and that we track our monies. Savings, they are shrinking. But I would encourage persons to think twice. So while you have your savings, think twice before you spend. So you have a major expenditure or even a okay expenditure, but it's something that could be optional. Think about it. Think twice before letting go of your money, right? And budget out every penny. Now, how do we budget with less disposable income? Utilities are fixed, right? JPS not going to send you a letter and say, oh, due to COVID, we will not charge you the light bill this month. And NWC saying, oh, we're going to give you 2 months off because it's COVID and things tough. And we know that you lost your job. These will come each month. So I would say, and there are other tips to put in, that if we have children, have one of them being the conservation monitor around the house to plug out the things that being used and to switch off the lights. So have a conservation monitor to deal with that because the utilities have to be paid, right? But don't run away from the JPS and the NWC if you don't have the money. You have dialogue with them. Go in and talk with them, right? And you will find they might be making some room for those who needs to get some payment plan or some sort of adjustment in their bills. But you don't hide from them and not pay for months, but pay even a $5,000 on the bill each month. All right. And in terms of shopping, shop at the market for fruits and vegetables. I know some of my friends go to the market very early. Right, Camille? Very early to the market to get all of this fresh fruits and vegetables. But no, you still have to go to the supermarket. But when you go to the supermarket, there are some days for civil servants, not for everybody. Hilo, their day is Thursday for civil servants. And there is another day for another group of persons. But Mega Mart has such a day as well. Not sure if it's Thursday, but you can find out those things, right? And there's and that's a 10% discount. So you could shop on those days to take advantage of the discounts. Anybody know of the Mega Mart discounts that they have? Anyone? All right, wholesale buying now. Go down a market, some wholesales down there, and they have everything. I know some persons don't like to be shouting out, Mr. Chin, £10 of the thing. And, you know, but there's a way to do it. You make a list and you go and pick up your stuff, right? Buy wholesale. Now, with children, as you know, they eat a lot of food. They're like a tornado passing through the house if you have young children. They just sweep the groceries as they come. I bought juice last, it was during the week, it was Tuesday. I was checking the cupboard. Juice was finished. I bought juice on Saturday. Juice. And it was done Tuesday. So we have to communicate the food budget, to the household, right? And lay out the limits. So we can't be planning that, oh boy, I only have this to go for the month and they don't know the constraints that you're under. They observe, but if you communicate with them, they will actually help you and say, all right, let's not buy any drinks this weekend. I could make the lemonade or something, right? So communicate with the children the food budget and how things are not just for free for all for everybody to just sweep through. No. Other things, some of us go to the gym. Some persons go to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym. I walk in the community. I haven't gone to running yet, but no gym subscription. I walk in the community. So that is also an option. All right. No, this one can be a little bit humorous. I don't know. Is it Sergeant Harris? Would you be your own barber? Are you your own barber, sir?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not my own barber.
What about saving is just $500, but or $1,000. But how about that idea?
Right. What I've done is since COVID, I go to the barber at Doppygate, which is mobile reserve, and he does his thing, but it's hard because the more persons you come into contact with, the higher the likelihood of
Yes.
you. Yeah, so but I
Yeah.
can't be my own barber. I tried it, and it's a
Okay.
bald head thing. So
So you can be in your own barber. You could try it on a Saturday, and then you stay home, of course, Sunday, and by Monday it will be up. It will grow. You can leave the house by Monday. Because you might not be able to leave the house immediately if you're trying it for the first time. All right, re-engineering the meals. I know at the end I'll ask, I'm sure there's a chef on here or somebody who can help with these tips. You have your curry chicken or your curry goat or so. Stretch it, man. Put half of the amount and add potatoes, Irish potato to that. Sausage in the ackee or ackee only instead of ackee and saltfish all the time. Right? Stretching tuna, you add corn to it. Stretching tin mackerel by adding some carrots. So you have the family love mackerel and banana, tin mackerel and bananas, and you have to take out 2 tins to feed everybody. Use one and add some carrots in it, and wow, lovely, lovely, lovely. What else can we do? Yes, we mentioned unplug all that's not being used in terms of electricity, turn off fans, open the windows. Car wash versus do it yourself. Think about that. Yes, it's a good exercise. Sometimes you can't reach the top of the car, but maybe half of the month you can do it yourself, and another time you take it to the car wash. Helper versus the family approach. So you're used to a helper coming to wash and iron and dust and all of that. You have a family, let's assign the roles to different persons. It's just that it is sad to be firing the helper, but it's just the fact that, if the person has to take the taxi and come in, it's difficult to, to guard against the COVID in terms of them being in the taxi, coming into the house. You have to really work that out. I had my babysitter traveling, at the start of COVID, and of course we instituted some stuff, but eventually, we had to stop all of that. Yard sale or community sale. So in terms of dollars, you need some money, shrinking budget, and you need some funds. You have a lot of things in your house that you're not using that could be treasure for somebody else. We could institute yard sales. Community sale now, I don't envision the crowd at this community sale. It could be organized. It can be a month of community sale where you assign for those who are interested. Say you have 20 persons interested in coming out to sell. 5 would sell per Saturday or a Sunday. And there, say for example, it's Orchid Park. You have one tent at each corner and one in the middle, so you don't have any bundling. But you have a month-long sale event so that persons can sell their wares and get some income, you know. Persons are looking for income. Other means. All right. Money tips. Credit facilities. Persons who have lost their job, there are some of them who maybe have just taken out a car loan. Just take out a credit card. Or if not just, but you have a maxed credit card. You have a car loan, you have mortgage. It's not easy. So in terms of reconsolidate the credit facilities, it's not easy to do a loan, a new loan, bringing all of these together, these outstanding debts together for one institution to take it over when you're not working. But dialogue with the institution and they will be able to give suggestions as to what you can do. Because if you at least look at your resources and agree to pay and show evidence that you can pay X amount, because this is time for dialogue, you know. This is a time for dialogue. You can't just stay away from the institution. You say, I can only pay this, work something out for me on my consolidated loans. Take the credit card, put the cast the car loan and tell me what to do. And they will work something out. If the clerk can't help you, you go to the manager because they are interested in making sure that your even a little bit is better than nothing at all. And you have to protect your credit rating as well. All right, we mentioned that. Reconsider outsourcing in aspects that you can manage. So that is like the being your own. So the reconsider outsourcing mean reconsider having a helper come in or the car wash, you know, and so on in aspects that you can manage. What you can do, you do it yourself, right? Well, in terms of eating out now. Eating out at KFC and you want to go to Burger King and so on, yes, you have the taste bud for it and you want to have you have the craving for those fast foods, but it's not healthy. So you're going home for a cooked meal, whether it's the tuna and the corn or the potato and the curry chicken. Yeah, it's still healthier than your craving for the fast food. So just consider, and you'll save money, right? So there are persons who would have a main job in terms of number 4, organize for more investments or savings from income sources. It's possible that you were one, spending more on entertainment, spending a bit on gift giving or so on, and now you can after examining your income sources, you can put those into investment, right? So you put aside more. Those who can, some persons still can put aside in investment at this time. There are also persons who have had different income sources, and the one was for spending and entertaining, and the other one was paying the bills and so on. Now you have to consider that all the sources must generate some savings. You must at least pay yourself out of everything that you earn because you are preparing for something else that is down the road. We never know if another pandemic is around the corner. They say every 100 years, but this is teaching us, COVID is teaching us just to be prepared for unplanned circumstances. All right? So, and of course, we can't leave out divine help. And we must have try and get advice from each other. So this is a facilitation for advice from each other, right? So we can ask questions here and share ideas right here. The term leveraging COVID, leveraging is just a term that is used to express that you want to get the most out of a situation or a circumstances or circumstance or a value factor. So say, for example, you are an accountant. How can you leverage COVID during this time? If you have not, if you lost your job, you were doing accounts for the company, but now you can do accounts for individuals, right? And you can do your own freelance accounting service, right? So you leverage that talent to in this time to benefit you, right? So how do you make the most of what you have? You see, Usain Bolt, how does he leverage? He makes the most out of his brand. LeBron James, everybody have to try and leverage what they have to get more out of what they have, right? So retrain. So in terms of looking outside the box now, so fine, you lost your job, fine, your income shrinking, budget is out of whack, is in negative. You have to sit and think. So the introspection is this now. Retrain in areas of your passion. What is your passion? What is your passion? What do you like to do? All right, so what's the passion? Is there anybody that, you wonder what would be that passion? I don't really have a clue. What is this passion? Retrain, what would I want to do? Is there anybody who wants to express that? Are you not sure what else you can do or what field you can go in? Anybody? Or does everybody know what their passion is? That's good. Anyone? Okay. So your passion. Oh, I'm seeing some. Angela, I'm going to ask you to check the chat in case anyone asking a question in the chat. So, because I'm not able to look at it while presenting right now. Right. So, area of passion. I'll give you an example. What is your passion? It's that thing that you do naturally. It's like you're gifted to do this. It's you don't sweat doing this, and you love it. It's like not working. That's your passion. Or if you're not sure what the passion is, and you're in a sphere or in an environment where you're peeved at something, that area of peeve could indicate your passion. I always use the example of, say you're in church and you're hearing the choir sing, and you're like, goodness gracious, the alto is off. Why is the alto so off? And you're saying they're not even harmonizing. Goodness, I can't listen to this. All right, you're peeved because the music not sound right. Well, I just hear music. I'm good with that. That could be your area of passion. You know exactly good music quality. You can train, you can have your studio, you can have persons trained to sing, and and you can do that with your eyes closed. That could be your passion. And the passion indicates where you're gonna be serving others. Yeah, because you can only give out of a storehouse of what you have. That's your passion. Now, income generation, right? So other income generation, like online business. Yes, there are several online business, but ask around for the good ones, because there are some scams on the online platform. but there are research houses that need persons to complete research for them. You have accounting jobs online. You can actually teach. Yes, you have online teaching Spanish or English, whatever online. There are other areas to teach, right? Digital marketing. No, that never spelled right. I create. That's I create. I create is a business that they're listed on the stock exchange and they do digital marketing courses. You can call them up and see, get an overview of what would be good for you, right? But retraining is something that you must consider at this time. Now, there's a story in the book about positive mental attitude by Norman Vincent Peale. And this man was saying, "Oh, I'm done for. I'm never going to get through this. I've lost everything. I've lost everything. How can I start over? I've lost everything." And then he was like so despondent. And he was asked, "So, okay, let's see. Are you married? Do you have a wife?" "Oh, yes, and she'll never leave me, and so on." He said, "Okay, that's one thing. How about your children?" He said, Yeah. They plan to fly in just to comfort me and so on. I say, "Okay, two, you have children who love you. Good. And do you still have your house?" "Oh, yeah. Pay that off." So, and sometimes it's just to say, and that person found the courage to start again. It's just to say, sometimes we feel that we can never start again. But if we take the time to look at what we have more than we ever thought that we had. So I'd say we have our family, we can do a SWOT analysis on our family and to see what business can come out of this family. Can you build a business from the strengths? All right, this now can you build a business from the strengths of your family? That is a question. And then the opportunities will show you, where the area of focus or marketing will be. What can your family do well? Think about it. All the assets, all the strengths of your family, list them. Weaknesses, that's where you train in those areas. But the opportunities will indicate how you can go forward as a family. So don't just take it on by yourself that, all these things happening to us as a family and we're gonna break apart because it's too stressful, make one person working. Sit down, man, and talk. And the children even will tell you what mommy and daddy are good at and can work. So SWOT analysis on your family or ask somebody to do it. So we're gonna meet some people. We say, yes, we can leverage. Meet Audrey Forrester. I didn't get the Lady Audrey, you're there? You can unmute and let me hear. I'm just checking to see if the flyer came in. Lady Audrey Forrester became the best baker at Christmas time, selling how many Christmas cakes, orders coming in, and she's packaging and sending out cakes and earning from her talent. And she's to be applauded for that. And she'll continue to bake. So if you want your banana breads and puddings and so on, you call up Audrey. So is she online? Yes, I'm sure she came in early. You can unmute and just tell us how you got the courage to do that. All right, let me just check for her. All right, in the meantime, let me talk about Mr. Smith. Wow. I'm not seeing. Of course, I am looking at the listing. All right. No, until Audrey comes in, somebody can call her and let her know that I'm asking for her. Now, do you like that artwork from Horace Smith? He was at home. That's my husband. Talented. Being at home, being the principal of homeschool, the Smiths homeschool. Yes, you know, he was doing this this artwork where he used dried flowers, and of course, you know, you could get any color pot that you want, and of course, that is framed in a glass frame, and anyone wanting one can purchase. It normally does it in a pair, and it's $4,000 for one. Yes, and that's income there. And he's an accountant, so you know, we have a flyer for the accounting business for individuals who want their accounting done. Can ask for help there, and he will tell you. But this is a part now where I'm going to ask you whether, let me just pick on some names. So Annette Reed, Kenya Douglas Catton, Robert Blake. Is there anyone who has a story to share of how they re-engineered their talent and came up with a business, or you were really, you know, you really invented something, started a good business during the COVID period? So since March last year to this year, is there anyone who started a business? Anybody want to share? Come on, tell us, so that you can get the support, and it would be like free advertising, you know. I'm gonna give you Lady Forrester's number for your puddings, your cakes, and catering needs, because Mr. My husband is a chef. Anyone want to share about anyone who started a business or even themselves, but I'm more interested in what you have done differently. We are sharing to help each other. Marion Edwards. Beresford.
Well, I haven't started a business. Good evening.
Good evening.
Terry.
Hi, Ms. Edwards. Marion Edwards, go ahead. Yes.
I actually started something some time ago, and I'm now thinking about it. Now that I hear you talking, that, you know, it is good for us to look at what it is that we can do in terms of just being creative.
Right.
Some time ago, I work in the corporate Jamaica, and I wear a lot of stockings. And usually when my stockings get old and torn, I don't know what to do with them. I normally dispose of them. And this idea came to me that I could use them to make buns, what we call hair buns.
Okay.
And I started doing that. And surprisingly, I wore it to work. A few coworkers liked it. And then I started making ear buns. I started collecting their stockings as well.
Okay.
And I just started something from that. And even during COVID, persons were ordering from me, and I was preparing and just take them to work, and they would buy them from me. So that's something that I did just, you know, by using old stockings.
Okay, good.
And my selling point to them would be that they're 100% nylon, and of course they're washable, and all of that.
All right, very good. So it's looking at filling a niche out there. So don't burst your brain that, oh, what niche is out there. I think you could start at what resource you have, what you have in your hand, what you have in your house, because she had those, you know, the idea came from within, right? So anybody else? Anyone else? Oh, I want to, oh, you can mute, please. Do we have any nurses or Dr. Stubbs is on here? Do we have any nurses or teachers on here? And Dr. Stubbs, you're there? I don't know if any other doctors are here. Right, just want to big you up at this time. I know that it's a tough time for the nurses. Short staff is an understatement, and teachers, you know, the stress level is high, and so I just want to remember these persons. Yeah. Yes. Anyone wants to? Anybody else? Don't need to be. We're in the same community. We're on one big veranda named Zoom veranda. So let's just talk up the things.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We do our own gardening now. Well, we usually have a man that comes by and cut the yard, but
Okay.
we don't use him every month. So we just like cut whatever we can, and then for a big task or so, we may call him. So we cut down at least 2,000, 3,500 monthly on that.
Okay.
And we borrow our neighbors' work. So we share along that line.
Okay. Good. Yes, ma'am. So yes, we can do it. So you see, people, we getting up and doing things differently. All right, and it was um Einstein. Yes, it was Einstein who said, you know, the solution to the problem cannot be solved at this. It cannot be found at the same level where the problem was created. So that's why we have to come up higher and act differently with the resolve to get ahead, because we have to find the solutions to move on. And as you mentioned, neighbor, Andrea, if we have 4 hands of banana, maybe you get it from the country or so. Make sure you're walking down the street to give a neighbor on the right or on the left. And you take two and you share two. But we have to increase. We have to increase the sharing that we had in the past when we were younger. We know that grandma or our parents would send us down the road to give Miss Mavis this or Miss that one, that piece of that, and peas or anything at all that they had excess. Then we had to share, right? So we're gonna increase that because we are in this together. Now, why we can? Because we have divine help. We do. God made us to thrive, you know. He said, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. So if the soul is prospering, if our heart is prospering, we shouldn't be living in worry, 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 worry. But we give it all to the Lord, and He will give us the ideas to prosper. When we go on our knees and pray, we should rise up with a whole lot of work to do, because He's going to download what we should do. And as a man thinketh, it's just to encourage you from Proverbs 23, verse 7, not to put any limits on yourself, because if you have limiting thoughts, you will just get that, the limited results. This thought was produced a bestseller book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. So many persons have read that book and so on, in order to help them to think positively and to have a better outlook. So we are starting well. We've started the process of the right focus by having these meetings so that we can get solutions and we can share with each other. Right? And there's another book to read, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. We have to really be growing our mind, growing ourselves at this time. There was a time when I stopped listening to the 7 o'clock news, 7 p.m. and you have the 7 a.m. Those are my favorite news times. So, you do everything from your little bit. You make sure, you're ready by 7 o'clock and you're listening to the 7 o'clock news, and it would set a time for you to get ready to go to school. And so right up, I am always listening to 7 o'clock. But during last year, some part of this year, it's just hard to listen to the news because it doesn't set your day right. It disturbs it a bit with the negative news, how many people dying from COVID. And guess what? It's already on my WhatsApp. So I get updates from the Ministry of Health on my WhatsApp. And I see the numbers and all of that. So I don't listen to the end part of the news where there's just a wrap up, but I have to choose and be deliberate about what I listen to because I need all the strength in my fight to focus. It's at the beginning when I spoke about focus. In my fight to focus, I have to focus on the right things. So I'd encourage you to focus on the right things so that you can actually get by with what you need to get done and help somebody else because it's so difficult to focus and keep positive, then it means that it's only a few people doing that. So it means you need to be there for somebody else. And don't complain if your family calling upon you all the time. It means that maybe you got it right. You started moving ahead, and so you have to pull them as well, right? And as you get information that you share. All right, let's see. All right, it's a whole heap of quotes from Nelson Mandela. But say you don't know what book to read or anything, just pick up the phone and Google Mandela's quotes or something. All right, do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Some people just look at the results and say, boy, she happy, man, because she has gone well, man. Look how she's successful. Look at the Range Rover. No, just remember how many times I fell down and got back up again. And take that to encourage yourself to get up. Yeah? So another one, he said, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. So what is your dream? What do you have? The COVID cannot kill a dream. No. It can't kill a dream. Right? If you think it killed the dream, check it out. It maybe is redesigning that dream, refining that dream so it can be the thing that it's supposed to be. Yes, so Emily Acker, yes, she says, as long as you're still alive, and we only have living people, no ghosts join us this evening, alive, we are alive, then you always have the chance to start again. Right? So when persons ask you, so how are you doing? Oh, I'm alive and well. Yes, you're still alive. I saw two persons in the bank, one just meeting each other, two businessmen, and then one said, hi, how are you doing, man? And him said, oh, you know, getting back. So it was a long pause because he's thinking about the business and the situation. But he's alive. It's still possible to do something about whatever you think is not going well, right? So what I have to do these days is micromanage my thoughts and my words so that I give life to the things that I want to see and don't speak the things that I don't want to see. Lord, he had me there, he had so till he rough. No man, that used to be a cute thing for me to say one time. Lord, he rough. Say all the dogs bark now and he rough. I'm not going to confess that when somebody asks me. Right? And it's not no fake it till I make it. No. I am looking at the little things that I have, which are big things. Yes. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know I finished already. All right, I was having fun talking, but you guys need to talk now, Thank you for listening. I could say a whole lot. Now we're going to be sharing some more. And if anybody has a joke to share, Share it so that we can bust out a laugh. If you're not good at telling jokes, just tell us which line, which word, after which word we must laugh, and we just laugh. Questions first? Sharing jokes.
Kadeen, just a comment. You were
Yes.
mentioning earlier about looking at things that you can look to change. You know, you have somebody working for you. And so, well, I have somebody who works for me once a week, and I couldn't, with good conscience, decide that, okay, I'm going to do it on my own, apart from the fact that I don't like it. But the thing is that I also have to consider her. She does days work. She has other persons who have sent her home to say that, you know, we can't deal with it right now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, with good conscience, be comfortable saying I'll do the same. So if I have to sacrifice a little more, so at least I'm sure she's able to have a meal and any little thing extra that I can give to her, I am going to do that. Because as you said, you just have to be positive despite everything that is there. So I would not be comfortable in that state at all.
Yes, and then it's a little bit contradicting because I'm saying, look out for somebody else.
Right.
And that's a way of doing that, looking out for her. So the lady we sent home, oh, I think it's because of the baby's so small. But we remembered her. Just that we maybe do need to do it more consistently, just to take something for her, go and look for her, make sure she's all right, and so on. Right. So we didn't just leave her like that, but we still need to do more. Just looking at it now as you're talking, we need to do more. And maybe we need to call her daughter and see if everything is all right. That the daughter is looking after her too. Yeah. The daughter is a teacher. But we have to be conscious of, and then it helps us when we think of others.
Yes, it does. And you know, they are very grateful, and the feeling is reciprocated. They help out in whatever way they can. It's appreciated, and I would not have been comfortable doing so. So you know, so just sharing that point.
And following up on that now, if I say be your own barber, where the barber going to get income? Where is the barber going to get an income if we all be our own barber? Well, it will reduce the number. I don't think everybody will be their own barber, I guess. But so it's just where you have to cut and save, do that.
Right. And then the thing is that maybe what you do is go to the barber less. Go to the car wash less too. Because say for instance, my son is doing school from home until January. He went back out. So, you know, you cut the hair once every few months. They don't like to have it cut anyways. So at least that still saves you some. So whenever the barbering needs to be done, it's going to be professionally done, but it's just that it's done less. So there are other ways to look at things. I have been working from home, so my car gas bill is very low, and you eat mostly at home too. So there would be a little saving there. It sort of goes back out in purchasing the food to cook at home, but it still is even healthier than having it completed on the road. So there are different things that you look at as to how it works. But I like the idea of making sure that you're looking out for other persons, because you have to do that too. That you still have to consider other persons, and that this is their income to feed their families too.
Correct. Yes. Is Audrey back on, Forrester? Audrey Forrester is back on. All right. Anyone else wants to? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, good night.
Blake,
regarding the barbering, I'm a male, right? And I'm not able to go out and go to the barber. And then due to the fact that the pandemic is on and it's about touching, right? In some way, it may transmit this virus, God forbid.
Yeah.
Then on that note, we could understand, it's not that we don't want the barbers or the hairdressers or those persons who are into all of that to survive, but then this is where we have to take what I call the necessary precautions. So for me now, I do my barbering myself just because of the pandemic, and then just not being able to reach my barber in time, and then because of other condition, I'm not able to go out like others because of what the government says.
How did you look after the first day of barbering, the first attempt?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have bullets, so it wasn't too hard. I just
Okay.
clean everything and that takes care of the problem, right?
All right. All right. Okay. All
Right.
right.
But
Good. Good.
outside of
Good.
that though, just from Miss Tony, I'm the visually impaired, the person who is actually the chaplain for the neighborhood watch community,
Mr. Blake.
and because of my blindness, I'm not able to go to the barber because I the government's a person with disability and over 60 are elders to kind of stay put. So due to that is why I pretty much have to do what I have to do
Yes.
because of that condition.
Okay. All right. And I want to encourage you all to be. I know there's a little bit of fear factor with the even the ads about staying home and kind of your yard and so on. Yes. I would encourage you to just take your vitamins and get adequate sleep, because based on what is happening, many persons will get, more than 50% will get the virus, right? Based on how it's out of control now in terms of the community spread. So fortify yourself with your vitamins and with enough rest so that you can actually survive this, right? Instead of having that fear factor right through. Good. So as we mentioned, leveraging, looking at your talent. What can you do? Anybody else want to share? Because I'm not getting back Audrey. Yeah. Anybody else?
Nadine, thank
Yes, yes.
yes, maybe yes, this is a great presentation, and like for me, from my generation, this has taken me back, and I look at this time as a reset, a time when we will come back and be close to each other, care about each other some more than we used to. So that will be a positive thing that comes out of this whole situation. I remember my own experience in the 70s. Many of you here are too young to know about what happened in the 70s. And I remember the days when my pay did not increase, but the cost of purchasing food increased. So what I did, and I just passed this on, something you can think about, I focus on the nutritional value of what I'm going to be feeding my family. And so like chicken, I would use the breast and add that with some vegetable and make like a chop suey. I don't know what it looked like to me. Then I use the back and I give the vegetables and stuff, and I make a big pot of soup like on a Saturday. And the hip and the thighs and stuff, I would use those and collect those and use them for my Sunday dinner. So from one chicken, and I had a family of 4. From one chicken, I was able to get, I would say, almost like 3 meals out of that. Another point that I want to bring out to that, to be sure that you are getting some sunlight, because the vitamin D is very, very important in protecting not only from COVID, but from a lot of other ailments. I've seen a lot of people walking in the community, and in the mornings, people do a lot of walking. I see some people walking in the evenings. From the recycling of the bottles and the plastic, I am very, very pleased to see how much water drinking my community is doing. And those are all some of the things that will help us to stay healthy, and when our minds and our bodies feel good, it's easier to focus. And like Kadeen said, you choose what you want to focus on. And from experience, I can tell you that is so important.
Yes.
And try to work with what you can control. Some things we just don't have control over. And so we should not be using our efforts to try to do that. So for me, during COVID, the most important thing to me, well, I'm a retired person. However, I will point out here that my health supersedes, is high on the list of what is important. Because can you imagine if you get sick, especially as an older person, it doesn't take much to wipe out whatever couple dollars you think you may have to purchase your food. And then the next thing is that I make sure I get sunlight. So when you see me working in the community, I'm getting added benefit physically and also the sunlight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, but what time of day? Some person says the sun is coming up, some says the midday sun. I hearing all different things. What kind of sunlight?
Okay, what I've heard, for those of us who live in the tropics and we're used to being out in the sun, there are experts who are telling us things, and sometimes I'm very wary of some of the recommendations, especially for us people of color, because sometimes we're covering up with sunscreen and we're actually blocking the sun. So let me tell you what I do. When I am outside in the sun, I make sure that I am well covered up. I have my hat, I wear tall sleeves, and so is just my face, my eyes and stuff that are exposed. I make sure that I have a certain amount of hydration, and I also walk with a bottle with maybe a little lime or lemon just to, to keep me salivating. And that has been working for me.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I am, say this, I am concerned about, sometimes I think about persons who, and this now I'm bringing my own life experience into this. You leave home, like we would say, in the dark, and you come back in the dark. And so if you're not going out during your lunch hour to even soak up a little sun, chances are that you may not be getting enough sun and your vitamin D level may not be what it is supposed to be. Normal vitamin D is 30 to 100. They say we should try to keep it at 50, which may need supplementation for us to do that. So I think about persons who are like in the BPOs and stuff, where I see where they have the little cubicles, and I don't know if they go out during their sun and how much sun they actually get. I don't know. But that has crossed my thought, and I just wanted to.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that, because I was told to get vitamin D tablets and all that. All I know, we need to be fortifying ourselves and manage what we can control, right? Yes. Well, since most persons have not opened their video, I wanted persons to open their video so we can see each other. But I just put back the topic on the main screen. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Sir Harris, was the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Give us your title? It's a long one, so. And
oh, so no, that is my email address.
Oh, okay.
That's winston.harris@jcf.gov.jm.
Okay, great.
Right. So I'm commending the group and your effort to meet the way that you are meeting. It is one of my objective as an assistant coordinator to provide social support. I learned a lot. I like what the gentleman said. I think it's Mr. Blake. Some persons will have to stay away from the crowd, because the age and their chemical makeup. The sun now, on the sun, they say, the experts say that the midday sun, I think, is the best where the UV levels are highest, and it is not recommended that you stay long in it. So, that is what I know about it. From the Community Safety and Security Branch, on behalf of the ACP, I want to greet you well and to continue to do what you are doing. This presentation actually provides sobriety in our pandemic. It is a way to cope, and you are encouraging persons on what to do.
Okay.
So yeah, because most persons in situations like this, they become depressed, and I really admire what you've done, so yes. That's it from me.
Okay. Thank
Hello, Miss Kadeen.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Just wanted to say something. You mentioned earlier on in the presentation about.
And hold on, wait, that's Sean and Nesbeth.
Yes, it's me.
And she is responsible for organizing this outreach. Yay! All right, go ahead.
I was saying that you had mentioned something earlier on when you were talking about buying wholesale. And I was thinking about that. Sometimes we tend to do this where we purchase stuff in 3s or in 6 because we're getting some savings.
Yes.
But what I've been doing during this time, or what I think we ought to consider when you're buying in wholesale, think about the item you're buying. Is it that you need these 3 products, or can you utilize these 3 products over such a period of time? Or would it be best to save that money, buy 1 product, and then what's left over you can use to purchase another item that you might, or that you will be using within a shorter space of time. So as opposed to tying up your cash then in inventory, so to speak, thinking you're saving because you're doing this wholesale kind of purchasing, maybe it would be a little wiser to, buy 1, because 1 is what you actually need. 2, you might need 6 months down the road or a year, or you might not need for quite a while, but there's something else that you could have, utilized that money doing. I don't know what you think about that.
So I have had a battle with that because oh, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Gordon. Hey, yes. I've had a battle with that because hello, yes. You have to have that cash outlay to buy 1 case of grace mackerel is $8,000. 1 case of milk is another for $3,000.
I'm not suggesting that you buy a case, I'm suggesting that you buy 1 as in 1 unit.
Right. But that's what I'm saying now. So if those items that you use a lot of, I could say you can buy the bulk in that, and then others buy for the month or for the short period, because you might not have that cash to have, as you said, tie up in the inventory in the house. So accountant can talk about that. I don't know. Who else want to talk about that? How to really balance this buying in bulk and with the little cash that you have, instead of having the money tied up in inventory and stock in your house. How do you really do it?
Well, Kadeen, my opinion in this is that you have to look and see what your family is actually consuming and how it is consumed, as Shauna had said, because as you're speaking of the items that you're using all the time, definitely you would consider purchasing those in bulk. The other thing, though, that I find that can be an issue is purchasing in bulk, but also consuming in bulk. So you have to be able to work out a balance depending on how it is that your family needs these things.
You mean you buy enough juice and so the family just drink juice?
Yeah, because it's more convenient. Yes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So what you do, you buy little juice, the family will consume a little juice, and then the other time they'll drink water.
Okay. All right. Claudia Tavares has her hand up. You can go ahead and share.
I remember in the 70s that we used to buy in bulk in groups. For instance, if you and the family members, you might buy a case of toilet paper rather than buy 2, 3 packs. And you get your savings there as well. Maybe that's an option we could try. Whether in families or in groups, neighbors and so.
Like could go to, if anybody going to serve every day to work, you could pick up a bag of orange from Montpelier, and instead of me buying 2 dozen in the supermarket, and maybe it could take 2 dozen from you and so on. Yeah, it just came to mind as you mentioned that buying in bulk, but as a group, right? So that idea, somebody can just take it Monday morning. If you go and serve, pick up a bag of orange at Montpelier, and I would love 4 dozen.
And when we're talking about the discount days, Mega Mart as a senior citizen,
right? Which day is
Wednesday
that?
and Friday. Wednesday and Friday.
On Wednesdays and Fridays. See, they have 2 days. And the others, yes. And it's 10% off for civil servants at high-low. I'm sure Progressive has something, but I'm not sure which days. But you try and sign up for like the discount cards, the points and all of that. The points save me a lot. So there are things out there, but we can share more. Is there anybody else who wants to share? Or even a joke, because as we're talking, possibly a joke can relieve somebody.
Shauna K has her hand up.
Okay. Oh, you spoke, Shauna K. Go ahead.
I already spoke, Kadeen.
Oh,
sorry,
yes.
I didn't realize my hand was still
Oh,
up.
I thought, there is the K. Yes, you can put, yeah. Dan, your hand is up. Go ahead. Welcome, Dan. Go ahead.
Good evening. Been just sitting back here listening to say thank you to put this together. Quite informative and much appreciated. Now, we're talking about entrepreneurial spirit. And just an example of how I'm going to shift this towards the community as a whole, helping each other, getting together and helping each other. During this whole pandemic, there was the whole Black Lives Matter movement. In Atlanta, Georgia, a bunch of folks got together and buy land.
Wow.
They are now taking that land that they pulled together and they're going to build their own community, self-sufficient. And these are some Black folks I'm talking about. Wow. Now, the head of that finance who were make sure the finances was right, came up with an idea and go, wait a minute, what we could do as Black folks, it would be amazing if I started an organization with 50 million Blacks in America and each one put in $10, and even if half of them do it that, what we could do as a power in terms of finances. I'm shifting that towards our community now. Imagine Bogue Village, 1,600 houses. We got together, and even if, let's put it this way, we all give $500. Do the math on that. That's probably about $800,000. If you double that and say $1,000 from 16, it's 1.6 million. Now, I'm just saying this to show the power we have as people. If we can come together in that community, even if half put, it's still 2.4 million, because we don't expect everybody's going to want to participate. But imagine what we could do as a community.
Yes.
Imagine self-sufficient. And that's something that I think I'd mentioned it a little while back on one of the regular meetings. But like, I'm just saying, that's food for thought. Imagine if we could just come together and, like you said, mobilize. We can't sit back and wait. Because you say as you say earlier, trying to find somebody to fix the problem. The same people are waiting on to fix it. Well, what does get fixed? We have to move forward. So food for thought. Think about that, what we could do.
Right.
Because if we had done that before in a pandemic, we have a pool of money. We could be helping out each other. Some people who are not working, a little stipend here, a little, you know what I mean?
Right.
Food for thought. But thank you again for this, conference.
Because that, as you were speaking, I remember the point I made about the community sale. There might be persons who can trade what they no longer have value in at home for cash. If we facilitate a sale, coordinated and with COVID restrictions, yes.
There's a whole lot we could do. We could do for ourselves in that community, a whole lot, if we just.
Any other ideas? Any other ideas that you have there?
Yeah, there's a few things that I have in mind, but one at a time. But I just want people to just think about this. If and I'm not saying even right now, because I know financially things are hard for some.
Yes.
But when things are getting a little better, like I said, imagine $500. you know, between that. If half put, we could work wonders in making our community self-sufficient, safe, all the things we want to do.
Okay, okay, great. Well, as you rise up to do something for yourself, something new, I would like you to take on the enthusiasm of a child who, you know, is not so judgmental. Sometimes we critique ourselves too harshly. And I'm saying that because I ventured into something just laughing at myself and just having fun. I would like you to go to value creation on YouTube. I didn't even know I was streaming. That's well for everybody. You can just type it into your phone, value creation. And you see that we are streaming. Now, I've never done this before now. This February, I created the YouTube channel to say I'm going to just do presentations on financial planning and so on. Using my phone, I take myself and just cut, edit. And I have two brilliant consultants, and they are 9-year-old and 10-year-old and 13-year-old. I was just having fun with them. Uploaded 2 videos, and I live streamed this on it, not knowing that it would come on. So when I text them, they said, yes, miss, it's there. I couldn't believe it because I saw some error messages. So have fun. Start that thing, that business. You know, stop criticizing yourself so harshly. Just have fun, right? And get going, and ask 2 or 3 persons, not a multitude, to help you redefine and define what you're doing. So the start of a thing is a beautiful place, because when you get to the end or in the middle and look back, it's your story. What's your story? Just create one today. So my story is I was having fun with this YouTube channel. Value creation. From me, my place of value, creating value for you in whatever topics you want to discuss. And just learning. I've learned so much, right? So embark on that and grow yourself. So try and grow yourself in this time. Whether it's self-taught videos or an online class right in your home, you can be learning. Just stay motivated, all right? And you can go places. All right, so that's where I'm ending, unless there's any last words or a joke. Still don't get
other ideas, Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Like a backyard gardening. You can start up a backyard
yes,
gardening.
Yes. Oh my, I forgot that. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, because that would supplement the meals at home, and they'll spend less at the market.
Yes, they like that. Right, because even 2 weeks ago I planted pumpkin and took a picture of it. I should have put it up. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And my pumpkin is growing. Yes, very, very good. You have anything ready for harvesting?
No, not yet. And there are people who write. You can write poems and they can publish a book. It is said that everybody has a book in them.
Definitely so. Very true.
And write a book and publish. You write some poems. And they have people going now into forex trading. You can learn it. You can learn it.
Right. I like that. And if you contact the Mirror, all the newspapers, the Gleaner, they have slots for you to send an article in, and you can get paid for writing an article, submitting your article to the papers. Yeah. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can improve. Don't criticize yourself too harshly. Don't be too hard on yourself. Right? Set high standards, yes, but it's just to show your room for improvement.
But when many people are criticizing, that means they are reading what you're writing.
I love that. I love that. Yes. So any teacher, any nurse on here who wants to say a word? My heart goes out for the nurses more than the teachers. Yes, boss. I mean, sorry.
Hello.
Who's that? Who's that?
This is Nurse Green.
Nurse Green, how things. Tell the people how things, please. And if there's anybody who can come help, you know.
Oh my God, we would really need some help right now. Unfortunately, guys, I've just been confirmed COVID. Thank God for what's this now, online platform to reach out and connect. But I'm fine. I'm not really having any major symptoms, just a little tingling in the throat. So I'm upping on my vitamin C and quarantine, but I'm fine. But Mrs. Smith, let me just say thank you for this platform. Information is great, and I appreciate it. For us, for me, to the rest of the participants, I just want to say, guys, don't take COVID for granted. Don't take no symptoms or symptoms for granted, because I thought I was just having regular flu, that I was just tired and whatever. But because I have a relative who has cardiac issues and my baby is here too, I'm coming, puppy. I did the test and it came back positive. I'm coming. Yes, so don't take it for granted. Hand hygiene is the single most effective way of preventing the spread. So even if you just scratch your hair, when you don't even remember, just wash your hands, sanitize. I'm coming, puppy. I soon come, baby. 1 minute. Sorry about that. Wear your mask, double mask if possible. The single mask only protects you 40% from catching the virus. So it's best if you wear the double mask or the mask and the face shield. If you don't have to leave the house, don't leave. Do everything in one go. And they say use one stone kill two birds. So if you know, so you can do everything in one day, get it done, so it prevents your community contact as much as possible. And yes, Mrs. Smith, you must oh my gosh, Savvy. You must
Papi. Papi wants mommy.
Yes. We must act upon our talents. Don't be afraid to do anything. Have fun with it. Because right now, my husband planted up the entire backyard. Right now, the entire house is filled with gungo. And he planted some. We're over by phase 2. We planted some corn and sorrel on the other side.
What?
So in the backyard, we have pepper, pumpkin, cane, everything, apple, everything. So it's a time to build your character and to build on your weaknesses. Don't be afraid. Just try something. It's better to try and fail than not to try any at all. And Mrs. Smith, what I wanted to ask though is what about like the online platforms of doing some stuff? Like for me, it's kind of hard because you know my job is a 24-hour thing. I'm at work night and day. Then I have school to attend to in the days when I'm here. So it's kind of hard for me to do something extra, but I want to, but I just don't know how to start. Where to start.
Possible. All right. Well, I always start with prayer and listening. And when I listen, get the ideas. Now, you might be thinking about spending time somewhere to earn because your time book out. So I think maybe writing is your thing because, yeah, you might say I'm not so good at writing, but there are stories in you that only you can go into that zone of just putting it on paper and just give it to the person who like to cross T's and dot I's. Give it to them to read because in terms of child publishing how-to books or e-books on child care or self-care, and look at how you just easily coin that about build your character and what you say, yes, character building and growing, whatever. Yes, man, you can put your things into words and into ebooks, and you can either for the newspaper or you can have a website with how to self-help books or self-help pamphlets, downloads. You can do downloads of self-help books, and people pay for them the downloads because yours would be different. Remember that difference sell. So if your thing is different, they will buy. So you could think along that line. So that would just come in your quiet time, you're writing, and in no time you do 2 pages, 3 pages. Give it to another person now to read and perfect while you're working. I'm thinking along that line. So we are limitless to what we can do.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So I'm gonna look into that for real.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. Okay. So there was one joke then. Since I don't tell jokes good enough, but I'm just gonna hand over to Miss Dowdy or Shauna. After I was listening to the JBU broadcast, and comedian, he was saying, listen, say anything we make in China no good. That's what I'm saying, good. So COVID not go there too long with we, because it not last long. Anything make over China no good, say this where it come from. But now make it catch you, because then you're not go good neither, and you will soon gone. Right? So I found that to be a little funny. Right. But and there were some others. But we can write down jokes as you hear them and tell it to others, so make somebody laugh as well. I'm handing over to Mavis Dowdy or Shauna Nesbitt for any announcements and the
I'm tasked to say thank you to Kadeen for a wonderful presentation. It has been interactive. Thank you for the energy of the persons on this participating. And this gives us fuel to continue the series. So Shauna advised me that the next outreach of the next series is for living with COVID-19, 1 year in the mask. So look out that will be coming soon. Thank you so much for your participation. I know this.
We didn't hear that. We didn't hear that properly. 1 year in, and then we lost you. The connection wasn't good. Okay. Living with COVID. Yes, please repeat that.
Did you all get that? So look out for that.
No, repeat that. Living with COVID at the topic.
Okay, strategies for living with COVID-19, 1 year in, behind the mask.
Okay, strategies for living with COVID, 1 year in, behind the mask. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Stay tuned for one. And again, thank you to everyone. And on a personal note, I noticed my niece, Shawnette, who teaches at Knox College, and over in that side, Christiana, where she lives, and Spalding over there, probably like a hot spots over there, but I noticed that she joined us. I noticed Mr. Blake from the Catherine Hall CDC, and I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I'd mentioned Dan before, who I recognize, who is, on the other side. And we're waiting for you to come home, Dan, to help to put all of those thoughts that you have in place. But we're going to really give them some thought and start working on them while we wait for you. Thank you all very much. And thanks again to Mrs. Kadeen Matthews Smith.
All right. Thank you. And good night,
Donna, do you want to add?
Yes.
No, Miss Davis, no. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Be healthy.
Good night.
And stay safe.
Okay.
Good night.
In case you need
Same to all of you.
any other information, I put my number in the chat, 423-1932, and you can reach out to me. Oh, my number is on there, right? So you can reach out for other questions. Thank you. Have a good night, all.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, and same to you. Good night. All the best.
Have a good night.
and Mrs. Gordon.
Okay,
Whoa, look at you.
wonderful program, man.
Yes, it's good to
Good.
see you.
Oh, yes.
So I know you always have the backyard full of, yes, the apple tree is there. Yes, mango is there.
Mango just coming in.
Just coming
Yes,
in. We
man.
have custard apple, you know.
Right. And cane is ready. You can start feeding the community, man.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. So
So this
I
is going to be continuous, right?
yes, I think monthly. So it's monthly.
Okay, you'll inform
Yes.
us.
So I'll inform you. And
Great girl.
I have another meeting on the 15th, and that's about will preparation, writing your will, doing your estate taxes, and so on. Those are for the
Okay.
clients. I have sent it out. Right. So all the
All
questions
right.
that you need to ask about writing your will and the costs for probate and all of that, those will be discussed. A lawyer will be presenting, Genevieve Harty, attorney at law. So she'll be having all the answers for you.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll send it to you.
so that you had such greatness, my dear, and may God continue to richly bless you and, you know, empower you in whatever you do.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.